Everybody, welcome to Auto Mastery University, the greatest salesperson in the world series. And we've been talking about chapter number 1 for the last 2 weeks. And today is the last video we are going to do on chapter 1. Today, I begin a new life. We've been talking about building a business, and we're going to continue on with that. So we are giving you what's called the scorecard today, just 3 numbers a day. That's how you are going to know you're winning. Now, let's think about why we're even in this room. If you think about it, you and I, when we first got together, we started to write down some of our goals, those things that we really wanted. We got really clear. And what you and I realized was that we weren't happy necessarily with where we were with our businesses. So we figured out, hey, man, I've got to get some new habits. And today we begin a new life. We start finding things that work, new habits that stick, that will allow us to reach our goals. So the chapter summary I'm going to give you here, rather than read the whole chapter, Today I Begin a New Life, I'm going to encourage you to read it at least twice a day. The author in the book recommends you read it 3 times a day. In the morning, at lunch, and then the evening, we read it out loud for a really good reason, because it goes into that subconscious. It's a phenomenal book that will seep into that part of you that gets things done. But some of you, though, won't do that. So I made it a little bit easier for you. If you're an achiever, read it 3 times a day for a month. If you're not an achiever, then you're probably not watching this at all. If you want to get results, though, at least read it twice. Cool? All right, here we go. So it starts the day we decide to change our past, right? Today, not Monday. Not the day the calendar looks clean. When? Today. That's a summary of chapter 1. Your past is not just old habits. You got the results your daily habits were always going to give you. If you had bad habits, that's the results you're going to get. If you have good habits, you're going to get results out of that. Everybody, number 3, has habits. Top of the board and bottom of the board are both on autopilot, just different programs. The top people on the board have different habits than the people at the bottom of the board. Number 4, you don't break a habit, you bury it and you replace it with a new one. Lay a new one on top of the old one and keep doing the new one over and over and over again. And number 5, repeat it till it owns you. Do it when you feel like it and when you don't. Over and over again, every day, every time, without fail, no exceptions. But here's the good news. You don't need the feeling. You just need the habit. I don't always feel like going to the gym. I just have the habit of going to the gym, period. Think about this. I don't have the habit of making 50 calls, the feeling that I want to make 50 calls a week. I just have the habit of doing 50 calls a week. See, feelings quit on you. Your mind will trick you. But a habit shows up even on the worst day, good and bad habits. So when you and I get in habits and we get in the habit of doing them every day, that's when shift happens. All right. There's 3 numbers that I really want to focus on here with y'all, okay? One is touches. Who did I reach out to? The next one is conversations. Who did you actually have a conversation with? Who talked back? And the third one is appointments. Who's on my calendar? You want to move the needle? All 3 of those are critical. And here's what we're going to ask ourselves at the end of the day, just 30 seconds a day. That's it. How many touches? How many conversations? How many appointments? All right. What are touches? Anybody you reached out to today. What counts? A phone call. What if they didn't answer? It's a touch. A text. What if they didn't answer? It's still a touch. A video message. An email that you wrote yourself. A message on social media that's going after a client, somebody in the service lane. 6 different ways to get it done. Pick whatever fits your day, but you want to do 50, don't you? What doesn't count is a blast email. What doesn't count is liking a post. What doesn't count is just waiting on the lot, because you don't have a touch with somebody if you're just waiting on the lot. All right. Why did I move you from 30 the first week to 50 the next? Frankly, I'm selfish. I wanted you to sell more cars. Week 1, I gave you 30 touches. But I thought, well, man, we're not saying 30 phone calls. We're saying 30 touches. So we can do 50. We can do 50 as long as we have a structure. It was on purpose, and here's the reason. 30 touches a day is about 660 touches a month. 50 touches a day is about 1,100 people a month. That's 440 more people a month who heard from you. Same hours, same building. 30 is good. It beats what most of the floor does. But 50 is the next level, and you're ready for it. And remember, 50 is not 50 phone calls. It never was. Here's what 50 might look like: 15 phone calls, 10 texts, 5 video messages, 8 emails that you wrote, 6 social messages, 6 service drive. That's 50. Most of that you could get done before lunch. Mix it however you want. The number is what matters. I will tell you though, you know, and I know some phone calls are going to have more impact than others. And phone calls do work. I get most of you'd say that most of my people like to text. I get it. But if you can get them on a phone and have a conversation, they work better than a lot of the others. All right. Talking about conversations, what counts? We talked about touches. We talked about that a few minutes ago. What about conversations? This counts. They picked up and you talked. Way to go. They texted you back. Now you've got some kind of a thread going on. Boom, way to go. They answered your email. Boom, way to go. You caught them in service. You actually had a conversation, as we talked about. Boom, good for you. What doesn't count is a voicemail. That's not a conversation. What doesn't count is no answer. That's not a conversation. What doesn't count is if you talk to their spouse. Both of you talked. That's the only rule. That's the only rule here, that both of you had a conversation. How about appointments? What counts? A name, a day, and a time. It's on your calendar. That counts. They said yes to that time. That counts. You've got their name and number. That counts. What doesn't count, sometime this week, maybe Saturday, or never confirmed. You have to confirm those appointments. That's what counts. If it doesn't have a time on it, it's not one yet. Go get the time. Now, you get this. I'm going to go back a minute, and I'm just going to remind you: touches, conversations, and appointments. All right. So in the scorecard that we're sending to you, it'll be sent to you and it's attached to this video. There's 3 rows. You're going to do this every day of the week. Okay. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. If you're open Sunday, go ahead, reach out to me and I'll get one made for you. How many conversations those days and how many appointments? That's all you want when you go home. What's your goal? 50. 50 touches, right? Fill in those numbers, go home. You can talk yourself into anything. You can't talk the card into it. These are real numbers. All right. Where the scorecard lives. Boom, right on your desk, face up. Not in a drawer, not in the car. In a drawer, it's a diary, which you're never going to read. On the desk, it's a scorecard where you're looking at it. When somebody walks by and sees your numbers, that's a good day. When somebody understands what you're doing, that means you're working. And that means that somebody is a manager. When they see what you're doing, that's good. All right. Before you leave, text your partner your 3 numbers. I would make your partner a manager, but that's up to the manager. 3 numbers, not a paragraph. Your scorecard. Either show them or text them. Pick your partner before you leave this room today. Why? Because we all need accountability partners. Those accountability partners will help us stay on it, and you're going to help them stay on it as well. So again, help somebody stay on theirs, but I would pick a manager to give these numbers to. 3 things, that's all. The scorecard on your desk, face up. 3 numbers before you go home. Text your partner at 6. Do these 3, and the rest takes care of itself. Week 1, you got your why on why you're doing this. Go back and watch that video if you don't remember. Week 2, you built your day. That was last week. Go ahead and watch that. And this week, you're going to keep score. That's a new life. You built it in 3 weeks. Next week, we're going to go into scroll 2. Go ahead and bring your scorecard with you. We'll see you next week. Until then, keep the change.